Hi, Zabbix fans. Sorry for my voice. I'm French. So, Natixis team and I would like to give you feedback about our latest migration in Zabbix 3.2, not 3.4, not yet. We are in a large banking environment, and when I'm telling about our large environment, we have about more than 18,000 hosts. Some hosts has over than 10,000 items and 10,000 triggers. So, as you can imagine, it's not so easy for daily tasks and for migration. And I will show you that we will just have 5 minutes of downtime during our migration. So the summary, few words about Natixis, Zabbix environment, our methodology, and we choose to go to Galera for the MySQL replication. So Natixis. At first, Natixis is a bank. It's a bank which is a part of the group of the BBC group. The group is a joint of two famous banks in France, Banque Populaire and Caisse d'Épargne. And inside this group, Natixis is the international corporate investment insurance and financial service arm of group BPCE. We provide all the backend and all the service for all the other banks. Natixis has more than 16,000 employees in more than 36 countries. And we are located for the IT in France, in Paris. And we just had a new branch in Porto, in Portugal. In Natixis and in Natixis IT, we like to have new challenges. And we will do our best to meet our customer expectations. So in Natixis IT, we are more than 3,000 people with on-duty calls. And we used to build together attractive projects. Nowadays, our main projects are service quality, cloud, DevOps. And we have 2 dedicated data centers to host more than 7,000 physical hosts. So, Zabbix, main purpose. To monitor our all servers, we have only one Zabbix servers. Our NVPS is more than 7,000 new value per second. And we have only one Zabbix server with a VCS cluster. You could show the details of the RAM, of the CPU, and we are under Linux 7. You choose to have more proxies. We have 7 pairs of proxies with a load balancer to load balance the data, the flow. Some proxies are dedicated to some particular functions, for example, tester webs, Exadata, in DMZ servers. And for the front ends, we have 2 instances in Apache. One front end for the users and one front end for all the API calls, with a load balancer with F5. Everything in Natixis is automatized. It's important for us to have an industrial process to reduce the time cost and the time maintenance. So everything is automized. The users, the host, the system template are automatically set to the host. And the only thing for our users is put only the application monitoring. We design a special toolbox because we have a lot of repetitive actions for our users. So we encapsulate API calls in just a toolbox with just Bootstrap 2 and Ajax in jQueries. For example, some repetitive action is to have all the host in a host group, and our user wanted to have this result in a CSV file. Get all maintenance for a host, list all hosts linked to a template in a CSV file. So our methodology, we stayed in Zabbix 2.4 during more than 2 years. And our schema was at this time very improved and was improved by Zabbix, thanks to Zabbix. And we had 2 MySQL servers in active-passive replication. And sometimes we had lots of hardware failures about the database. So it's good to get rid of the past sometimes. So we decided to have 3 nodes with the Galera master-master replication. And we decided to migrate at the end of the year last year. And we migrate in production in June this year. That's why we were in 3.6 at this time. For our targeting architecture, we had some partitionings, and for Galera, for the needs of Galera, we had some columns and primary keys. I will show you exactly at the end the data flow for this architecture. But it's a new architecture, so we must know exactly how were the limits. So thanks to Jean Garage project, Jean Garage is inside, he's in the room. Yes, thank you. We decided to have a stress module to have only 10 Zabbix agents to simulate over than 4,000 hosts. And with these 10 agents, we achieved to have more than 30,000 NVPS during 7 days. For that, at this moment, we only was in 3.3, and we use this version of Galera. It was the first limit. Normally, we have 7,000 NVPS, so we are thinking with 30,000 NVPS during 7 days, we could have a better sleep during our nights. But we changed the architecture. So with 3 nodes, we are thinking that it was possible to have the data flow load balance between the 3 nodes. But with this kind of architecture, we had some deadlocks. So we have to redesign exactly how was the data flow. We don't want, at this time, we didn't want to use a hash epoxy to load balance the flow because we wanted to have a simple architecture. For us, simple, with no, we didn't want to add other bricks. So, about the stress, I said 7 days with 30,000 VPS. Okay, it was only numeric during 7 days. And after, we decided to put a trigger with a template system and to add during the test load 1 condition and 1 trigger. But we only add 20,000 NVPS for this action. And at the end, we wanted to know where our logs will appear So it was when we add the Avian condition always in the same template, as you can see on the screen with the blue. Yeah, so, where we were enough self-confident to have our migration, our manager didn't want to have a long downtime. So they decide for us to only have 5 minutes of downtime because we are a financial bug and we couldn't miss some transactions. So for that, it was the migration was without historian trends because it was too long to migrate the historian trends. We tried to migrate the historian trends for this migration, but the trends in the history was more than the migration was more than 7 days to only migrate the trends. So we made some for dry runs to achieve this migration, and to have only 5 minutes on downtime, we migrate on other new database, and we only have to switch the Zabbix server, the link, and restart. And after, check the alerts, check the Zabbix internals. So, about our architecture. So we put Zabbix support team in our migration. We ask Zabbix, and the recommendation of Zabbix as I said previously. We decide to dedicate a backup, the third node, to only the backup with extra backup plugin. It's very easy to have backup, call backup with that. And this kind of architecture is very simple. If we have hardware failure, we only have to switch off the Zabbix server and restart to another node. With the scripts we have designed directly on the Zabbix server. About the Galera experience, we decide to crash during our production. Yes, during our production, we decide to crash the third node dedicated to backup and to know exactly how it will be recovered. So the node 1 and 2 are synchronized. We stop the node, we crash every data, and we restart. And we wait. And we wait only 1 hour and 42 minutes to be exactly recovered. So we could have the details of the 1 hour and 42, and we are very proud to know that if we will have a crash, and we don't hope that we for our database, we could have the entirely recover in less than 2 hours. And this test was done, as I said, during our fully production state with a database more than 7 gigabytes. So we use Grafana for that to supervise. And Grafana is very useful on all days. So please feel free to ask your question.
Yes, questions from Slider, please.
Thank you. The first question is, why did you migrate to Zabbix 3.2, so not the LTS version?
Because when we decided to migrate, the 3.4 was not yet available.
Okay.
But we decided to migrate normally at the end of the first quarter of the next year.
Okay. Second question, why only 5 minutes of the downtime for migration?
Yes, what I said, we are a financial bank. So we didn't want to miss any transaction on any alerts. So our production team wanted to have alerts as soon as possible. That's why we only have 5 minutes of downtime.
Thank you. And the last question is about the proxies. What kind of database engine you are using? And maybe you could share a little bit of your experience in upgrade procedure for the proxies.
For proxy, we have SQL directly on a database. About our experience, it works very well. But on proxy, we don't have to have a recovery strategy. So if the proxy is crashing, we could restart easily a new database.
Thank you.
There is a question from the second row, please. Second row, what's first?
Hi. Well, you mentioned that you have too many hosts. Did you use any specific templates? Did you use any discovery rules for determining on which physical hosts any virtual machine runs? No, well, did you use any specific templates or approaches to this?
For templates, we use system templates, and every teams in Natixis has their own application. So they just have their own templates for all the application, but we have the system templates, the application server templates. So they are users. We have more than 1,000 users, and the 1,000 users are responsible of their own perimeter. They are super admin, and they work about their templates, but we didn't have a look on the templates. Even there is some problems.
You said, thank you. You said that you must receive any alert as soon as possible. That's why you had 5 minutes. What alerts? Did you write your own rules, templates, checks for any application alerts? Did you do it yourself?
No, it was the responsible of all applications team.
Well, I mean your company. Well, you developed your approach to application monitoring, right? Some internal protocols or something like this. Or what alerts did you mean? Like host is down or something very simple?
Yes, for example, no ping answer, host unreachable, but it's the system part of the template.
Okay, thank you.
And after, the application team will have the visibility for these triggers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Hello. Have you faced with any issues when database upgrade? Because
yes, of course.
because as for us, we have upgraded since 2.2 to 3.2. It's like 3 major releases, and we have a lot of time for upgrade.
Yes, we face a lot of issues because we have 3 months to have all the issues done. We tried that with Alain Ganichot. Someone in the audience normally knows him. And we had a lot of support with Zabbix to upgrade our schema. But our schema was had lots of improvement done by Zabbix before. That's why for this migration we decided to recover, to have the normal schema of the Zabbix 3.2. And yes, the first migration was cancelled. That's why we had 3 dry runs before to be sure that everything will be okay.
Okay, we have one more question.
Hi. You told that you have 3 database hosts, and my question is, what is the latency between these hosts?
Alors, about the cost, we had support with Codership.
No, about database, about MySQL database.
About MySQL
So
support,
what is the latency between them?
The latency. The latency is about 7 milliseconds. Sorry, because we see that on the Grafana screen. Yes. Normally is here is milliseconds, but no, it's here. We have 7 milliseconds normally, but.
So they are in one data center or one town, right?
No, we have 2 data centers, and they are 40 kilometers away each.
And your database works well in this configuration, in active state.
Yes, we are in active on the 3 nodes, and we have the support of Codership for Galera.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. I don't see any more questions. Thank you, Xavier.